Okay, so day two of this week for grammar, chapter 7, lesson 2, part 2, and this is the first segment video. Now we're going to pick up where we left off. Yesterday we left off by talking about compound sentences and how you use a comma and a conjunction to create a compound sentence. And they gave you the example, they wanted a new house, and then they put a comma after house, although their comma doesn't look like it's right after house. It looks like they skipped a space. And then they put the conjunction but they could not afford one. So that's just a quick review on writing a compound sentence using a coordinating conjunction. Now, you can also use a semicolon, and that's where we're picking up today. So let's begin.
Number 3 teaches us another sentence structure strategy. It says, use a semicolon only. The capital C, capital D tells you to write a compound sentence. The punctuation mark holding this space is
Okay, we often wondered why you get CD for compound sentence when compound starts with a C and sentence starts with an S. Well, we're already using CS for something, so we use compound, the C, and the D from the end of the word compound, and that's those two letters. Now, why we capitalize the D, I don't know why they do that, to be honest with you. That doesn't make sense to me. But that's the way it is. So CD stands for compound sentence.
called a semicolon. When using this sentence structure strategy, put a semicolon between the two clauses. Let's look at how to apply the sentence structure strategy to create a compound sentence using a semicolon with these two clauses. I bought a used car. It runs great. The compound sentence reads, I bought a used car. It runs great. Notice how the semicolon was placed in between the two clauses that are closely related.
Okay, so technically, there shouldn't be a space here between the R in car and the semicolon. The semicolon should be right after the R in car. Again, I'm not sure why they chose to do it that way, probably just to show you where it went.
When you add a capital letter to the first word in the sentence and an end mark to these clauses, you've just constructed a compound sentence. The colored boxes to the right are partial lists of connective adverbs and how they are used. Let's take a look. If you'd like to add information, use connective adverbs such as also, besides, furthermore, likewise, moreover. When you need to show reason or result, use words such as accordingly, consequently, hence, so, therefore, thus. And when you want to show contrast or choice, use words like however, nevertheless, otherwise.
Okay, so that list of connective adverbs to me just seems like they just kind of threw it in here in the out of nowhere. We've been studying conjunctions, and all of a sudden, boom! Now we've got adverbs, connective adverbs. Not probably the best place to put that information. I understand that those things need to be learned. I'm not sure I would have put it there if I was writing a textbook. So, anyway, moving on.
When using these connective adverbs, it's very important that you recognize the punctuation that goes along with using these connective adverbs. The semicolon will need to be placed before the connective adverb, and the comma will need to be placed after the connective adverb. Today's student tip has some very important information, so please pay attention. Use the following information as a visual aid to help you construct compound sentences. Independent clause plus independent clause equals compound sentence. Joining two independent clauses in one of the following ways forms a compound sentence. Look closely at number 1. Two independent clauses joined by a comma and a conjunction. You can also create a compound sentence if you have two independent clauses closely related in thought, joined by a semicolon. I have placed a gold star on this student tip because I would recommend creating a small poster with the information that you see in the highlighted boxes. This will help remind you of the two ways to construct compound sentences.
By the way, that's extra credit. Anybody wants to get some extra credit, create a poster for yourself. It's got to have a gold star on it with this student tip information. And then take a picture of it and show it to me. I will award extra credit points based on how neat it is and how much of the information you got exactly right. So consider that.
Now that you have learned to construct simple and compound sentences, it will be important to listen carefully to reference 103 as we learn to identify types of sentences, adding the compound sentence. Now let's use the following information in the chart as a visual aid to help us construct different types of sentences. Notice in the first blue box, it gives us the sentence type. The next section gives us an example of the sentence type. The section in red is called Quick View. It gives us a quick view of the parts of speech used to construct the sentence type. Follow the yellow arrow as I guide you through this chart. We'll begin with the simple sentence. The simple sentence is recognized by a capital S. Let's read the example of a simple sentence together. Ready? Jack jumped. Did you notice that this simple sentence includes a noun and a verb? The abbreviation for the next sentence type is SCS. It stands for Simple Sentence with Compound Subject. Let's read the example together. Ready? Jack and Jill jumped. If you take a closer look at the quick view, you can see that it's color-coded. The nouns Jack and Jill are in blue, and the verb jumped is in green. There are two nouns in this subject because we are working with the sentence type, simple sentence with a compound subject. The next sentence type is a simple sentence with compound verb. Its abbreviation is SCV. Let's read the example. Ready? Jack jumped and shouted. I hope you were able to recognize the color coding from the quick view in the example we just read. When you look closely at the example, you can see that the noun Jack is color-coded in blue, and the two verbs are color-coded in green. There are two verbs because the sentence type we are working with is a simple sentence with compound verb. The next sentence type we'll work with is the compound sentence. Its abbreviation is capital CD. Please read this example with me. Ready? Jack jumped and Jill shouted. When you look at the quick view, you can see there are two sets of nouns and verbs. Jack jumped is the first set, and the second set is Jill shouted. A comma and conjunction have been added to this sentence because it is a compound sentence. It has been color-coded in red, so you can see the capital CC stands for coordinate conjunction in a compound sentence. Let's use the light blue box to identify different types of sentences.
Okay, we're going to stop there for this segment, and then we'll start another segment that you can follow along. This just gives you a break between this information, so you can kind of go back and review if you need to. So we're going to stop now. Segment one is now done.